Well, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, friends, esteemed guests. I don't know if we've actually got any of those, but welcome to the Circus of Safety Season 2, Episode 1, after a cracker of a break. It's been fantastic. If you're new to the show, welcome. I'm Brenton, we've got Andy and Des, and thanks for joining us as we try to take you through the thrilling world of health and safety. I mean, why do I even say that, guys? I've got to be fair. Like, health and safety is not thrilling, is it, really? I mean, I've had a lot of time to reflect over the Christmas break, and I've decided that it's not that exciting. But anyway, welcome back. How are you, Andy? How are you doing today?
Excited for the safety content of the show.
Wow, here we go. We're not even 5 minutes in and you're already causing problems. Des, how are you going, mate?
I'm doing pretty good. Had a good break. How about yourself?
No, I'm going well, thanks, Des. I didn't get a break because, there was a busy time of year. A few big projects closing up, but no doubt I'm looking forward to one hopefully soon. So can't wait for that. Obviously, it'll be a short enough one that I can squeeze it in between episodes, obviously. I'd hate to let the team down.
Just can't catch a break, can you?
Oh, honestly, so it's now season 2. It's episode 1. I didn't even get a Christmas gift from you, and now you're showing off the mugs again. I mean, do we have to start on this foot, Des? I mean, we haven't spoken all Christmas, and now you pull this out. This is honestly, this is a bit awkward because I don't know how we're going to get on actually coming up. But guys, I mean, people think we were having a break over the Christmas period, but I think we can let the cat out of the bag a little bit. We weren't actually, were we? We were hard at work. We got some real big, exciting news, don't we, gentlemen?
We do indeed.
Yes, look excited. We got some big, exciting news to let people know about. God, honestly.
I didn't want to interrupt you. You go for it, mate. Go for it.
Okay, so do you want me to tell them or do you want to tell them, Des? Because, I mean, to be fair, I would suggest you were potentially the catalyst for this.
Well, there's a few people to thank, but in short, the Circus of Safety will be hosting the Brightstar. The Circus of Safety will be hosting the Brightstar National Health and Safety Leaders Summit.
Woohoo!
Woo, yeah! So that is some really exciting news. So super stoked to be joining the fantastic team at Brightstar, where the three of us will effectively be assisting them in hosting the event, which is exciting. For those of you that are unawares of the show, sorry to cut your face off, Des, but this is far more important. The National Health and Safety Leaders Summit, 19th to the 20th of March at the Ellerslie Events in Auckland, New Zealand. So absolutely stoked, very privileged, I would suggest, that we get the opportunity to host a live event. Quite exciting. We're working really hard behind the scenes to see how we can pull the show together in a bit of a live, upbeat kind of off the cuff type format. So looking forward to it. Really exciting. And there's about 46 days to go till the event, gentlemen. Did you know that? 46 days to go till the Brightstar National Health and Safety Leaders Summit. Super exciting. So,
what are the dates?
The dates, they are the 19th to the 20th of March, mate. So lock it in your diary if you haven't already.
Hold on, I'll just check my calendar.
It's going to be a bit awkward if we ever double booked ourselves. I mean, we're getting flooded with invites, right? So we're at 8 to double book it. Because I know where I want to be.
So if someone wanted to go to the conference, what would they do?
Well, they would scan that QR code there that's now covering your face, Des. They could scan the QR code. It'll take them through to the website where they can add the event to the calendar so that they don't double book themselves like we could. They can buy a ticket or they can register their interest. Now, I don't know if we want to let too much out of the bag too soon yet, Des, but there could be opportunities for some giveaways or some discounts on the show coming up.
Yep.
Bit of an incentive.
There will be a bit of incentive. So I know today, I believe, is their last opportunity to sort of get that early bird registration fee in. So really important. Jump on there. For those people that are watching the show post today, maybe on Spotify, there will be some promos coming through from us over the coming weeks as we lead up to the Brightstar National Health and Safety Leaders Summit, which is super exciting. Where the three of us will be hosting the event. So super excited to work in partnership with the fantastic team. Now, Des, listen, let's not get carried away, mate. Let's not get carried away with ourselves. I think we need to, do what we do best. Let's just make sure we protect ourselves. So can we hand over to a bit of a disclaimer there, mate?
Sure can. And look, over the Christmas break, I think for the first time in a long time, we actually got a summer.
We did.
Some decent warm weather and sunshine.
I'm sitting here sweating at the moment, mate.
But it was punctuated by some pretty wintry weather. We had a lot of high winds and rain, and it just trying to keep on top of that really inspired. I really was inspired by the way they do weather reports, and I thought, well, what a great way to do today's disclaimer. So I thought we'll do today's disclaimer in the form of a weather report. So shall I kick it off?
Mate, think of nothing better.
Excellent. So the weather report for today is hot air squalls from Brenton will come in strong at the start of the show, and they're set to worsen as the show progresses. And we're expecting gusts of up to 3,000 words per minute. A dark cloud will hang around any undefined terms at the beginning of the show, and we expect these will ease later on. There will be scattered rays of general information, but I'm pleased to say we don't expect to hear anything that could be considered advice. If you do decide to venture outside and act upon the information in this show, make sure you seek specialist advice.
Wow. Des, that's amazing. Thank you. As always, mate, you've really elevated the show to a whole nother. Well, what do you know when they say you elevate something to a whole nother level, it generally means you're going up. What's the term when you're bringing it down? I mean,
elevated.
He elevated. No, Des. Hey, listen, team. Just before we jump into the show, super exciting. Just a reminder to those that are new to the show, it is, and also those frequent listeners and watchers. There is a chat function. So if you're streaming live off our LinkedIn page, thank you. As is Matthew Sadgrove. So thanks, Matt. He's saying congrats, gents. Well done. So I guess that's on coming back. So that's awesome. So yeah, feel free, chuck in the comments, let us know what's going on, let us know you're watching, and we can keep you up to speed. So Andy, listen, I mean, I know this is probably just like normal for you, the Christmas break, really, because I don't know if you work at all, but any golden popcorn kernels of nuggets to take away from learning? Anything, any inspiration you've garnered over the Christmas break?
I've witnessed some, whilst not working, I've witnessed some really interesting approaches to safety just by observing people operate and work, and it's been quite interesting. And I think I'm going to try and incorporate some of these what would be known as common sense approaches into some sort of training, which is it's been pretty cool. Just not watching particularly for safety, but seeing safety. It's been cool.
Cool. And I'm sure the thousands of people tuning in right now really interested to know how health and safety advisor Oliver is going with his training.
It was very, very well. He identified 3 hazards yesterday.
Awesome.
And he'll just wander off when we're out shopping or whatever. He'll just wander off and he'll come back with a hazard that he's found.
Wow. He found like physically bring it back to you.
No, thank goodness. But he'll go over here, and we take photos of them, and then we discuss it, and we fill in the risk register. We build a risk register for whichever play park we're at.
Okay, so a quick question: how far away do you think he's from actually identifying a hazard, and then I know this might be a foreign concept to consultants, but to actually dealing with it?
Oh no.
Leave that for Des and I.
That's not our job.
Leave that for Des and I. Awesome. Okay, team. Well, hey, let's. I know Andy's got a pretty tight schedule today, so I think we should get into it, and let's bring back the infamous spinning wheel of death. So super excited. I know we had a quick run through. It was great to refresh on the topics that are on the wheel, and we got quite a few that we're quite excited about. So without further ado, gentlemen, are we ready to spin?
Spin away.
Let's do it.
Whoa! Wow, straight into the deep end, episode 1, season 2, and we are not mucking about. We're getting right down into the nitty gritty. This is going to be interesting. A good thing you need to go early, Andy, because we could be over in a couple of minutes. Culture within safety. Wow, that's quite a I'm lost. Andy, first sort of thoughts, takeaways, like kind of initial.
It's interesting the way it's worded. Does it mean different? Does it mean cultures within safety, or is it more about safety culture?
Well, then, don't you think it would have said safety culture?
I'm not sure. I don't know what it means. I need to define the term.
They're those dark clouds, Des. Is your initial shock, excitement on the topic of culture within safety?
Yeah, my thoughts are the same. It's an interesting choice of words, and it could mean, are we talking about an organization's culture? Are we talking about an organization's safety culture? Or are we talking about the culture within the safety profession? That might be something different again.
Wow.
I'm not sure.
Wow. Well, it was quite interesting actually when we were recapping in our pre-show meeting, because we have these formal pre-show meetings for those of you out there in safety land. We can't actually remember who put this one on the wheel, so it's quite an interesting topic, and it's quite refreshing. But yeah, I'm a little bit bemused. I don't quite. I guess. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna take the line of culture within safety as in culture within the safety profession, for want of a better term. Is there a culture within the safety profession? So I'm gonna put the line in the sand for myself, because I don't wish-wash, I don't flip over. I'm gonna put the line in the sand. Culture within safety as in the safety profession. So that's kind of my my thought of it. Andy, can I get you to actually draw the line in the sand and step over it, mate? Where do you want to draw the line? How are you going to approach this topic, I guess?
Well, I mean, I think I'll go with you, because I think that's quite an interesting take. Bizarrely, the last few days, I've spent a fair bit of time with a safety professional, and this is a topic that came up frequently in very late night debates.
Interesting. Well, there we go.
Worded like this.
You hadn't had a few ales when you put this on the board, had you, by any chance?
Possibly.
Des, what about you, mate? Are you okay to take that line that we'll talk with? We'll make the basis of the show culture within the safety profession, or are you wanting to take it somewhere else, mate?
I'm happy with that. But just a word of warning, though, I haven't given it much thought, to be honest with you.
Wow, that's where I like to take this. Keep you on your toes, Des. Keep you on your toes.
I think that could be a reflection of the culture within the safety profession, to be perfectly honest with you, Des.
Wow. Here we go. Andy, please explain.
So, the people that don't think about it, people in the safety profession often don't think about bigger pictures. Don't think about the links between safety and other things. Become very, very focused on specifics, tick boxes, that sort of thing, without actually taking a step back and looking at the big picture.
Yeah.
And I think there's some people in safety that see safety as an entity in itself. There's some that see it as part of a bigger picture, and there's some people that think that safety doesn't really exist at all.
You mean people within the profession that think those things?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, Steve Hart tuning into the show. Hi, Steve. Thanks.
Steve.
Thanks for tuning in. He's got a question here, and I guess it depends on how we took the topic, right? But his question is: does culture have a role in safety. And I guess if we went down that line, we could probably give our 10 cents worth, but it is an interesting conversation. I mean, I think there is definitely, if we carry on with where Andy was going, I think there's a number of different, I don't know if it's the word, if it's cultures or factions within safety, you know what I mean? Like, there's a number of, and I guess it's potentially based around, there's a number of things where it's based around potentially perception around what safety should be, belief in particular concepts. But there's definitely a culture within safety, and I don't know about you, but when I go to parties, I don't get invited often because a lot of people actually know what I do for a living. And let's be fair, nobody in the safety profession really gets invited to parties unless we organise them ourselves. But
hence the Circus of Safety.
Hence the Circus of Safety, because no one else wants to be our friends. But how often do you go to a party or a family function or whatever it is where it's not with people from the profession, and people say, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" And you're like, proud as punch, chest out, kind of beating it, thinking you're doing a great thing for society. So I'm in health and safety. How many times have you had people turn around and walk away, right? Like just they don't want a bar of it really. They just want to kind of walk away from it, or they come in full attack mode and attack you because I guess potentially because of the culture that they've come across from some safety people, I guess. Des, have you, now that we've had time to kind of fill some blank spaces for you, any further thoughts on culture within safety?
Yeah, and I feel like we might be touching on some previous shows that we did around the competence of the profession as well. It could be heading in that direction, but I really like the comment from Matt Sadgrove that's just come up. He said it's good to see a big start to the year with the imaginary. Does the profession have a set agreed anchor point which to base their beliefs, or are health and safety professionals a collection of smaller tribes with a joint purpose of protecting people? Culture is basically symbols, systems, and behaviors of a group.
Wow, that's.
I think that's a really good point, though.
Yeah, no, he does, and I guess, but and then those little those, I guess, within the big group or the wider group of the profession, would we argue there's subgroups, I guess, within that, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know that within my role, I typically would describe myself as a generalist practitioner. And there are specialist practitioners out there, like what a health and safety person in aviation deals with on a day-to-day basis is radically different to what I have experience in and have dealt with. So they're part of a different culture than what I'm part of.
Yep,
in that sense.
For sure.
I like that concept of tribes, though. I think that sums it up quite nicely. I think everybody in safety, well, not everybody, most people in safety have got the goal of protecting people. But there's so many different beliefs in how that can be best achieved. And I think it is quite tribal. And I see this quite a lot in the different clients that I work with. And also the sort of network that I've got of people.
I'm just thinking here, Andy, an offshoot of the dictionary that you are kind of creating. We could we actually, you know how when you do these sort of people assessment type stuff, I don't know the technical term. One of you smarter guys might know the technical term here, but
for the profiling.
Profiling. That's it. Could we actually do a social experiment here where we
safety profile.
We look to safety profile and we see what little tribes people end up in. So I mean, if you think about it, right? I'm just thinking about it now, right? There's the sergeant major tribe, right? The team that go out there and it's all about the clipboard. It's all about you're not following my rules and it's all about shutting sites down and it's all about that approach. Then you get the kind of the other end of the spectrum, I guess, where people are kind of walking around and it's all about engaging with people and it's about trying to be their friends and trying to help them, and then there's the middle ground and then there's the people that don't know what they're doing, because let's be fair, there's a bunch of them out there. that go, hey, safety's easy, I'll just get into that. So maybe we could do some safety profiling. Any thoughts on that, Des?
I would love to see that, and it's actually one of the reasons I've got another topic on the spinning wheel of death is the way people describe themselves, their qualities as a health and safety professional. And I think there's some telltale signs in the words people choose to describe themselves that give me pause.
Fantastic. No, great. So Andy, I guess, and I don't know how we approach this next question, because it's quite a interesting topic. We're almost taking an overview look into the safety profession here, the road that I guess I might have forced us down here with this conversation, possibly forgetting about the questions that I had lining up. But looking into the glancing, stepping back out of the profession, kind of getting up above it and looking down at it, I guess, do we feel there's a place for different cultures? And when I say different cultures, we're not talking about cultures from around the world. We're talking about the different types of safety cultures that we've come across. Do you think there's a place in Safetyville to have a range of cultures effectively within safety?
Absolutely. I think there needs to be a broad church, because that ensures this discussion and challenging and questioning, which is how we develop and get better. My view of safety now is very, very different to it was when I started in the industry 10 years ago. And that evolution has only happened through exposure to other people, situations and challenges. Am I comfortable with where I sit with things now? Absolutely. But when I look back in 10 years' time, I'll probably think, I can't believe I did that.
And so, so what you're saying
it's not all that continual growth.
You've grown as an individual by, I guess, being involved with a number of different cultures within the safety organ profession, and that's what's made you into the high-flying consultant that you are.
But I think one of the things may be that how you get into safety is incredibly important, and there's not a set role into safety. So most people, it's not their primary career. They've done something else previously, then become safety people. And I think that primary qualification or that primary job that you've had always sits with you, and that's your starting point. So if you've come from an engineering background, then you're going to have an engineering systematic approach to safety than if you've come from a HR point of view where you're more people focused. And I think that adds real value to the industry, the profession, whatever we're going to call it. But the problem is that everyone's coming from different points, so everyone's at different stages in that journey to get where they need to be. And that's why there'll always be different tribes, because there's no set route into it. Even from a qualifications point of view, there's a massive difference in the qualifications that you can get, even at a similar level. So level 6 qualifications, that sort of thing. There's so many different ways that you can get there, and the content of those courses is so different. So you're always going to have these different tribes, but the key is to learn from each other rather than become combative, which is what one of the challenges I have with the whole Safety 2 thing was that it became very combative. It became like, if you're not doing Safety 2, then you're not doing safety, which is just absurd.
I don't even know if I'm doing Safety 1, mates. so we could have issues there. I think I'm doing Safety 0. Des, I mean, your thoughts
Zero.
on the sorry, that's my line of the year so far. Your thoughts, culture within the profession, does it have a place, or should we all just be doing the same thing, and should we all just stick to our lane, be the same, be robotic? I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
I think that it's a culture within the safety profession. I think there's going to be different approaches to safety depending on the industry that you're in. And I'll give an example of what I mean. Checklists are a bit of a bad word at the moment in construction, and people treat them as tick and flicks. But checklists actually have and serve and are very effective in surgeries and aviation. And if anyone's seen the movie Sully, about the commercial pilot that landed on the Hudson River in New York. All the passengers survived, and basically when they lose power in an engine, they pull out the checklist for losing power in an engine and run through the checklist, and it's highly effective. It works really, really well. So even though checklists are sort of a bad word in construction at the moment, they're really effective in aviation. Maybe if there's a culture of collaboration, cross-industry collaboration, there's a lot that can be learned from one industry to the other. But I think at the moment we are in our individual tribes, and I'm a member of a few roundtable construction panels, but we all think the same way. And I think there could be value in sort of creating a broader safety culture.
Well, no, that was cool, Des, and it takes a lot to get me thinking because I don't do it often, and it really got me thinking. Do you talking about your checklist thing, right? And great analogy, and I think if you could, Des, I'm going to give you some homework. Could you maybe try to find the link to the movie that you were talking about, and just chuck it up in the comments later on, so those that aren't familiar with the phenomenal feat of landing a commercial plane on the Hudson River, can later on go and have a look. But I wonder though, and this is the thing about cultures, right? So we form our, there's that old saying, sort of birds of a feather sort of flock together. As you mentioned, Des, currently one of the feathers that your feathers are made up in the construction space, so you end up spending a lot of time in those construction roundtables. Do you think though it's then led to FOMO within different cultures? So do you think there's that FOMO there where we've looked over, we've seen checklists as your example in surgery where and aviation, where they play a pivotal role and are incredibly important, and over here on construction we're going, oh, they're using checklists, we need to use checklists, and so we've just gone over there without any sort of context or any kind of thought about how best to use them in our industry. We've just gone and grabbed them and tried to. And do you think that's maybe a bit of FOMO, which is obviously just for those kids that aren't as hip as I am, fear of missing out? I've been hanging out.
Thanks, Brenton. I was just Googling it.
So what are your thoughts there, Des? Do you think we've ended up with checklists and construction due to FOMO between cultures?
I think it might. It's probably a combination of things. It's probably that. It's probably that someone thought that it was the right thing to do, and probably was. It just wasn't executed by the people completing the checklist properly. And for that might be a host of reasons as to why that was. But I think there has been a tendency in the past to see something happening in another industry or another organization and quickly copy and paste it into one's own organization without too much consideration about what that actually means. And maybe to some extent you have to do that because you can't reinvent the wheel every time you do something. So you're going to be borrowing concepts from other organizations anyway. It's the management of change and the adaptation of that concept to your organization. That's the challenge, and that's where a competent professional will execute something pretty good. An incompetent professional will probably just implement yet another checklist.
Yeah, no, good call. Well done. Got a couple of comments coming through, which I'll just take a moment to kind of reflect on. Mark Gummer, friend of the show. Agility and adaptability across different trades, sectors, or businesses is key to our culture or profile. Look at us three, we're very agile. Thanks, Mark. However, based on some activities I was partaking in on the weekend, I'm thinking I'm losing my agility. I went mountain biking, boys, and I tell you what, I needed to make the show. I think I was going to have a cardiac arrest. I'm really going to start kind of doing some stretches or some yoga or something. And I mean, we've gone from such a great comment like that, right? And this is the highs and lows and the roller coaster of this show. You've got somebody like Mark come in with such, and Matthew Sadgrove, like throwing in these profound comments. And then Veron Fernandez, mate, I'm sorry, but straight off the deep end, his first comment, well said, Andy. At what point have we ever suggested Andy says anything well? I mean, he just...
Thanks, Veron. There's some merch on the way.
Oh, there we go. Well, we'll move on from the well said part, but he was referring to Andy's comments around collaboration being the key to success, and I think that's the difficulties. We've been focusing a lot on the sort of subcultures within safety, right, and talking about those, and it's really difficult to make sure that all those cultures kind of merge. And I think that's what we probably one of the reasons and the catalyst, if we kind of reflect back on it and get a little deep and meaningful and maybe hold hands and sing a little bit of Kumbaya, is probably the catalyst for the show, to be fair, right? Because we, as the three of us were talking, we like to pull things from each of the different cultures within safety and try to implement them as best we can where appropriate. And we wanted to talk about that because we noticed that conflict, and I guess we really wanted to kind of just put it out there that we don't need that conflict. We need all the cultures within safety space to be working collaboratively, right? So some good stuff there. Hey, I'm just going to go off script a little bit, gentlemen. Sorry, I don't do that often. Normally, I'm very rigid and I follow my checklist that I've got in front of me. Des, if we just take a step back, and I just want to give, I don't know, this is going to be probably a little bit challenging, I'd imagine. I think this is going to push you a little bit. If you were to step back outside of the safety profession and look back in on us as a profession, what would you suggest? How would you rate the culture within the safety profession on a scale of 1 to 10? Maybe 1, it's really toxic, it's really bad. 10, it's just amazing. It's an example to every other profession. Any thoughts on how you would rate the culture currently within safety?
If I had to give it a rating of between 1 and 10,
yeah, mate.
I'm not going to like this answer.
No, I'm going to like
it. It's definitely below 5.
Wow,
it's definitely below 5. But I'd quantify that or support that by saying that in 2010, Australia had some model work health safety laws out for consultation, and the feedback the consultation received by Safe Work Australia, the body that published that information, all of the feedback was from the legal profession, engineering, and there was almost no feedback from the safety profession. I would hope that things have changed in the last 14 years, but I think that's a pretty good indicator of where the safety culture for this profession is at.
Yep. No, good. Well, as I was expecting, nothing less. Well summarised, Des. Thank you, Andy. Your thoughts, mate? Stepping back, looking back in on the safety profession, a rating of 1 to 10. 1 being absolutely amazing safety culture, 10 being it is really appalling and bad and toxic. How would you rate the safety profession's culture?
Can I go for? Do we have to stick with the quantitative? Can we not go with the more qualitative?
Well, mate, you notice I've kind of flipped the scale around just to be a little bit different for you.
I'll see what you did there. So I'd say about 5.
Oh, typical consultant, mate. Sitting on the fence, doesn't want to go this way, doesn't want to go that way. Should I do this? Should I do that? Mate, get off the fence, because if you fall, it's going to hurt. Pick a number between 1 and 10. That's
No, I'd say it's about the middle somewhere.
We've got them stumped.
It's a very complex question. I know you want a simple answer, but it's actually
not that hard, mate.
It's a complex question. I think fundamentally, until this goes right back to the very first shows that we did, until we've got a clear understanding of what the industry or profession actually is,
here we go.
We're gonna end up creating more and more division within it. And it's which perspective do you take? Are you doing safety to keep your chief executive out of prison, or are you doing it to look after people? Or are you doing it because it pays the bills? And everyone that's in it has got quite different motivations and quite different beliefs. It's a fine line, though, because we need the diversity, but we also need to understand what actually the profession or the industry is actually about.
Wow.
And the plethora of definitions that we've got of the key terms is incredibly unhelpful, which goes back to the need for a dictionary.
I'll give you one thing, Andy. I will give you one thing. You are consistent. You consistently spout the same nonsense. Show in, show out. But if nothing else, mate, you are consistent. I don't know how you do it. I've got to be fair. I take my hat off to you. You are. You should be in politics. You're, I wouldn't say you're wasted in safety because I think that'll be a bad use of words. But I definitely think you would add a considerable amount of value to the political system here within little old Aotearoa. Wow. Okay. Cool. Hey, now listen. Great. Fantastic. And I mean, I think I'm just going to head back over to Des. I mean, quite a random topic for our first conversation piece of the year. Took us all while we saw it before the show went live. I think we probably weren't necessarily expecting it or weren't quite well thought through. Your summary on culture within the safety profession to sort of wrap up the show, Des.
Well, I don't think I've got a summary, but I do have a further thought on what Andy just said, and that is, he said we don't know what the profession is for. Is it for keeping people safe? Is it for keeping the directors out of jail? And I think the
and making money,
safety profession,
making
money was the other one.
Yep.
And I think the safety profession lacks a code of ethics. Now, I know that there's a lot of documents out there that have the title Code of Ethics, but actually what they are is a code of conduct, and a code of ethics is required when you've got conflicting duties. And we have conflicting duties in this profession, but we don't have a set way of, what's the word I'm looking for? Compromising or knowing what to do when those duties conflict. And that's what a code of ethics would do. And the profession does not have one. So we don't have that guidance.
Well, again, very. You sure you weren't prepared for this? It really sounds to me, Des, like you've done a whole lot of research and you knew exactly what to say and when to say it. Andy, I mean, do you want to add to that?
No, it's a very valid point that Des made there, as is the point made by Matthew Sadgrove, who's on fire this morning. Fantastic. I mean, apparently he also thinks that 5 is a fair number. Just saying.
Oh, God. Matthew, you've just gone down.
Merch on the way, Matthew. Merch on the way.
No, Matthew, stop it. No, excellent. I mean, I'm just gonna kind of, I guess, with my thoughts as we wrap up the first show of the year. I guess for me, it depends on the, like many things, right? And we talk about this a lot with our kids. If we've got children, and we talk about, a lot of your, it's all about the group you associate yourself with. And for me, I think I'm going to give the culture within safety, the profession, for me, with my current experiences, again, I'm very lucky to have received the inaugural internship with InchPo. I'm currently into my second year of the 2-year term, and a huge amount of effort is going into working globally and collaborating globally. So I guess the people that I spend time with, apart from you two, is generally incredibly collaborative by nature, and the whole intent and the ethos of it is all about collaboration at a global scale. And so for me, I think I'm having a really positive experience at the moment in this space. And I really hope that at some point the three of us can get to that place where we collaborate and we all agree. I don't think it'll make the show very exciting, and maybe that's how we wrap up this little experiment that we're doing. But yeah, I'm going to give it, if I said 1 was really toxic, 10 was incredibly awesome, I'm going to go for a 7, and that's currently based on the group of people that I'm currently associating myself with within the space, and I think that has a huge part to play with how we view things. So, listen, I'm just going to wrap the show up because clearly Des and Andy are getting way too much positive feedback here, only because they got the merch to dish out, I think. So, but listen, I think something I'm just going to throw down a challenge here, guys, and I don't know what your thoughts are, and I know it's a bit tough because we've all got full-time jobs and we do this because we love it. But I think I'm going to throw the challenge out to us and to our listeners. I mean, the great thing about the show is we're streaming live on our LinkedIn page right now. And you can see, obviously, people are putting comments up live, and really encourage people, and I'm going to make a big effort myself, really encourage people to carry on the conversation beyond the show, to re-engage with the comments, to start those conversations. And let's make a big effort this year to take the show beyond the show. And let's I'm just winging this here, gentlemen, so hopefully we're okay with this. Let's really make some time and effort to try and really respond to those comments, and everybody, including listeners, jump in after the show and continue the banter and the conversation. Wow, so there we go. Absolutely fantastic. Anything exciting planned for next week there, Des? The next couple of weeks, actually?
Not so much, but you mentioned something about an incentive for the National Health and Safety Leaders Summit by Brightstar. What incentive were you talking about? I've been hanging out for that.
Oh, well, mate, listen, you're going to need to jump on Brightstar's LinkedIn page. So if you head on over to LinkedIn and you do the old Google search for, the LinkedIn search, I should say, for Brightstar, jump on over to their page. Give it a follow too, by the way, while you are there. And up on their page, which they posted, was awesome. They gave us a bit of a shout out on their page. But we will be at some point offering a $200 discount to the National Health and Safety Leaders Summit. So stay tuned. Keep an eye out for that. We will come back and update you on the details on how you go into that draw. But we have been given a budget, boys. Have we ever had a budget before? No. This is awesome. So, yeah, watch the show. But if listen, let's not wait till the last minute. Jump on to the page and register if you can. Otherwise, we will be coming out with some more details around how you can be in the draw to get the $200 discount off your National Health and Safety Leaders Summit coming up 19th to the 20th of March in Auckland. So that'll be awesome. We've got some exciting planning coming up over the next couple of weeks. I'm looking forward to that, spending some quality time with Des and Andy. But we're looking at some really cool stuff coming up at the National Health and Safety Leaders Summit, brought to you by Brightstar, 19th to 20th of March in Ellerslie, where we will be looking to do some stuff from the show. So going live at the summit will be quite exciting. We'll be looking to do a range of things, and we'll slowly but surely drip feed those exciting things to you as we get closer to the time. So stand by, watch out. We will be looking to announce details of how you, our listeners, can get a $200 discount to the National Health and Safety Leaders Summit, thanks to Brightstar. So yeah, really exciting. Does that help, Des? Do you think I did that well? Was that well how we rehearsed it?
I think that covers it pretty well. I think there was a QR code up at some point that would have been a handy link to the event as well.
Oh, well, are you talking about this QR code? That one there, mate. Yeah. So yeah, jump on there. You can check out there. That's it, Des. Get your head up, mate. Get your head up. I just didn't want to block. Oh, look at that. Hey guys. I think we've just gone next level professional. So well done. Yeah. Anything exciting for you coming up in the next couple of weeks?
Yep, moving into my new office space on Monday.
Oh, awesome. We just so you, I think we've had an issue with our emails. Or I don't know, maybe it's just a personal thing. I haven't seen the invite to the office warming.
Oh yeah, it's the new computer. I'll see you Monday, Des.
Honestly, I just there we go. I'll get rid of Des. I wonder if I can get rid of you as well. Not sure how I do that. Hang on, let's just see. Can I do anything? Oh, there we go. Got rid of Andy. Yeah. So make sure you scan the QR code. Head on over to the Brightstar's website where they're advertising all the details. You can see the full range of speakers, the agenda for the National Health and Safety Leaders Summit in 19th to 20th of March. In Ellerslie Events, Auckland. Yeah, so super exciting. I know I've got an action-packed couple of weeks, just trying to work out timings. Off to Rota Vegas this weekend and then back there next weekend. The UCI BMX World Cup is in New Zealand. 300 of the world's best BMXers are heading to Rotorua. I'm going to be there. Managed to score me a VIP ticket, boys. So I'll be chumming up with the BMX royalty over the next couple of weeks. So some exciting stuff. Might even look to do a live stream there or two. So check it out, and I'll keep you posted. A quick shout out. We have noticed a steady growing of our followers over the Christmas period. So that's been fantastic. Desmond O'Brien, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for becoming a follower of the page. Desmond is a health and safety environment lead for a company called Freycinet in New Zealand. So he's been there for just over a year. Desmond, great to have you as part of the family, and look forward to your comments and feedback in the coming shows. Des, anything from you before we wrap up the show?
That's it from me.
Cool.
I'm all good.
Awesome. Andy?
That's it from me.
Brilliant. Hey, well, listen, guys, I don't know about you, but I've had a great time. First show back, season 2, episode 1 of the Circus of Safety. Big year for us this year as we look to host the National Health and Safety Leaders Summit on 19th to 20th of March here in Auckland. So make sure you get your tickets. Watch the show to find out how you at some point will be able to get $200 off your tickets. So great to see you, boys, and no doubt we'll catch up soon.
Thanks, Brent. See you next time.
All right.
Yes, Sam.
See you guys.